Hi guys, hope you're well and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another of Soph's music shuffles. There's a lot to get through, so I'm just gonna get cracking. So first up is Bad Rabbits, and it's the song Clouds from the new album American Nightmare. Absolutely stunning, beautiful, soaring track. It's got a very dreamy quality about it, but I'm not going to concentrate too much on talking about that one track because I want to talk about the album as a whole, because it has completely blown me away in the space of 2 days. I've only listened to it, I don't know, a few times, and I already think that it has made a place into the top 5 albums of the year, if not the top spot. I think it's an incredible piece of work. A lot of you may know them from their original work or tours that they've done with other bands, but a lot of you will probably have seen their videos that have gone viral on Facebook and YouTube because they do some incredible covers too. You might have heard ones they've done for Deftones, 1975, Michael Jackson, incredible covers. But you owe it to them and yourselves to check out their original work and their latest album, American Nightmare, because it is their best work yet, in my opinion. To describe the sound that they create is very difficult because even in one song you feel like they're covering a lot of ground in terms of sounds and genres. There's soulful elements, there's R&B, there's funk, there's rock funk. There's even, you know, a bit of kind of rap spoken word as well, particularly on one track, WWYD, which is a really powerful song. Talking about, you know, the issues with American police that you will have heard about a lot this year, to do with their treatment of black people, and that is a really powerful moment in the album that kind of breaks up some of the more dreamier aspects. This one's a bit more punchy in your face purely because of the contents of what he's saying. One powerful aspect of this band are the vocals, and his voice has so much character and versatility. At one moment it is being very soulful and smooth and sexy, and then same when he's doing the more R&B tinged vocals, and then you hear that kind of more guttural throat aspect to his voice and he's suddenly a rock singer. Just changes from phrase to phrase as well. He doesn't limit himself to one genre per song, and so it keeps you interested, it keeps it unpredictable, and I think that's part of its magic. I also like on My Song how he articulates some of the words so perfectly. It's got a crispness to it that, you know, a lot of bands these days, you don't understand what they're saying, and when you're singing along you're just going because you don't really know what they're saying. There's something about the production I really like as well, and I've not looked into it, so I'm not sure how they did it or who did it, but it really, when I listen to the songs, I can picture it, and it feels like they're all in a room together and they're all just making this music, and it doesn't feel like each part is separate, is what I mean. I can imagine it just being like one of these incredible jam sessions between some really talented musicians, because there's not an aspect to it where I think like, oh, it doesn't sound polished or it doesn't sound perfected, because they're playing the instruments so brilliantly, but there is just this feeling that they're all in it together and making this sound together. A bit like, you know, how jazz musicians just kind of do their thing and it's got an ease to it. I can't describe it, but if you listen to it and you feel the same as me, let me know. I'll be interested to see what you think about that. And there's something about the choices they make in terms of like the rhythms and the drummer and the fills and the syncopation and stuff that keeps it interesting. It's not just boom, tss, boom, tss. It's weird like I don't know what I'm talking about really. I don't know the technical terms, but there's something so technical actually about how they play their instruments and how the song flows. It's just, nothing about it feels mundane or predictable. Other songs that I'm loving so far are Too Late, Flames. To be honest though, I haven't found a dodgy track on the album yet, and I really don't think I'm going to. In short, you just have to buy this album. It is incredible. The next song is by Busted. Yes, they're back. Night Driver is out, which is their new album, and it's the first one they've done as their original threesome for I think 13 years. And I saw them live at H&B the other day, as you all know, and while we were waiting for them to come out, the album was playing in the background, and Grant and I were just going, oh, this is really good, isn't it? And we found ourselves like bopping along and even singing the lyrics just like after 2 plays of the album round. We were already hooked into the songs and the melodies had caught us. Without it, it just sounds like a classic song already. It's like the perfect pop song. It's got a melancholy to it, which obviously you guys know I like because I'm a bit emo. The album as a whole, I can't fault it. Other songs I love on the album include Kids with Computers, Night Driver, New York, but they're all pretty solid tracks. Some of them have some more dancey elements on them, some of them very obviously 80s tinge, some slightly more rock pop, but I defy anyone to listen to it and not find a song on there that they're like, okay, this I can get on board with, because it's just such a well put together album. In terms of current or more recent bands that I think you can hear within the album, I think bands like Pride's for that kind of synth ding 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 kind of sound. 1975 as well for some of the guitar riffs and just that kind of 80s tinge sound, and also a little bit Killers in terms of the melodies as well, I think. I guess it really appeals to me too because I'm a similar age to the Busted guys, so we have an affection and fondness for, you know, films from the 80s and the 90s, and when I heard the songs I could definitely link them to some of my favourite classic movies from those times and the songs that were playing in them, or even the scores and the soundtracks that were in them. I definitely feel, you know, with Stranger Things and even like the soundtrack to Drive, which I feel like they probably were inspired by for their album artwork as well. I feel like those sort of 80s synth tracks are very in right now, and it's a very current sound, even if it does kind of hark back to retro, you know, past eras. I feel like they found the perfect balance with this album because, you know, it's got the catchy melodies you want and desire from Busted and will have loved from their, you know, their original output. But it sounds current enough that it works for now, but also for the people that have grown up with Busted. So the people that, you know, like them first time round but will have developed new taste and be into new things, it will still appeal to us. So it's been very clever, although I don't think it was probably well thought out like that. I think it was an inevitable that, you know, coming back together they would have a new sound because they will have been consuming and listening to new music themselves over those 13 years and developed new tastes and preferences. They will have been working with different musicians and producers during their different projects that they were doing individually. They will have found, you know, new techniques they like using, new sounds they like or enjoy, new influences. As they came together, 3 people that have changed over 13 years. Who knows what, you know, what sound would have come out of 3 people that haven't been together for 13 years making music, but have experienced so many different things, whether it be playing with different bands, playing musicals, you know, writing for other people. Who knows what all of that information together will have created. But what it has created is something that I think is extremely winning, and I really hope it gives them the success they deserve because it is a really solid, catchy, poppy, 80s infused album and I love it. Next song is Sing by HAVANA. Now, it's not their most recent release. Trigger is their most recent release, which I know everyone loved. But for me, it is Sing that I keep coming back to. It's one of my favourite tracks of the year. For me, it's got the perfect balance of being just a really cool kind of vibey rock song, but then that chorus that really kind of tugs on the heartstring a bit because of, it's kind of just one of those empowering choruses that you want to sing really loudly. You can imagine will work really well at festivals and at their concerts because it just makes you want to go sing like that. Do you know what I mean? What I really think is the winning formula with HAVANA is you really feel like James is willing to expose truth and vulnerability and honesty and authenticity with his lyrics, and you feel it also when he performs it. Nothing feels fake about it, and because his voice is so stunning anyway, just all together, it just makes for a really powerful experience whenever you watch HAVANA or listen to their records. Now, they have gone through some changes over the years, and you never know how that's gonna disrupt things, but from, you know, the things that they've released so far, it feels like they are on top form. So I'm really excited to hear the rest of the album, which I think is out in January of 2017, and it's called All These Countless Nights. I'm really excited to see what that's going to deliver, and I'm sure 2017 is going to be a really exciting year for them. By the way, if any of you guys watch this, you tour with Placebo, one of my favourite all-time bands. I'm extremely jealous. Next song is Boston Manor. Now, I have to be open with you, pop punk isn't my favourite of the genres. I don't know, it's just not my thing. I think because I tend to go more for vibey, atmospheric, or a bit depressing the songs, and too much of that is a bit too like, do you know what I mean? But I have to say, as pop punk goes, I think Boston Manor are pretty impressive, and I feel like they're going to be big. And they're from the UK, which is a massive bonus. What I like about them too is that they have always had this DIY ethic about them, but even though they've put out this first album with a record label, I don't feel like it's affected that. I feel like they still have those core beliefs and that core ethos and that vibe radiating in what they do, so I don't think it's harmed them. So they're obviously a band that kind of very passionate about what they do and what they put out, which is good to see. There are a number of songs that I could have picked out today, but I think I'm going to go for Broken Glass. Yeah, that definitely stands out for me. Although I'd also check out Laker as well. I'm sure a lot of you will like that track as well. I'm really looking forward to see what happens for them in 2017. I think this could really be a huge year for them. I imagine they're going to have some really impressive tour slots to announce and some good festival dates and stuff. So keep your eyes peeled on Boston Manor. I really feel like something is bubbling for them. I think it'll just be so great to see more bands like Boston Manor really inject something into this pop punk scene. So yeah, good luck to them. And the last song is not a new song, and that is The Blue the Green by Lonely the Brave. The reason I've been playing it is because someone I know was asking my opinion on video directors I like, because they've got a music video to make, and I was just putting forward some ideas that I think would work for them and some people I think would work for them. And one of the directors is Greg Davenport. He's done some amazing videos, but some of my favourite of his work is for Lonely the Brave, including Backroads and The Blue and the Green. Something quite cinematic about his videos, but they're also very evocative, very emotional. There's a narrative there, well, particularly with The Blue and the Green, and I just think that's a stunning video, and it enhances the song, and that's the important thing for me. I've hated it in the past when there's a song that really means something to me, it was really emotional for me, and then a band decides to put a video that's kind of a joke video with it, or something that diminishes the power of the song somehow because they make it frivolous or about something completely unconnected. But with this one, it just links to the lyrics so well. That's what I love about it. And if you haven't seen Lonely the Brave live, it's a different experience to a lot of bands, but it's a very powerful one, because I don't know if you know about the singer, but he's not necessarily comfortable with all that comes with being a frontman of a band. He's very shy and anxious, and he actually chooses to perform largely facing away from an audience and at the back of the stage. And you would think that that would take something away from it because you're not getting that connection, but because you can see his body language and you can still see that he's feeling the lyrics and he's feeling the song, it is actually really powerful, because you know that he's in that moment, and every time he sings those songs he's thinking about what the songs are about, and it's running through his veins and he can feel it in his body, and that translates to you. So you may not be getting the eye contact, you may not be getting this front hand that's, you know, goading the crowd and encouraging everyone to participate, but you can still feel it. I think that's quite incredible, and it actually makes them unique. So something that might have been a negative maybe when they started out has actually turned into something that really enhances the lonely, the brave experience, I think. So that's the end of today's episode of Soph's Music Shuffle. I hope you find something in there that you like. Let me know which tracks you did like if you've chosen to listen to any of them. But I'll be back with another episode. So till then, thanks for watching.